So next we got Noy and Steve. Noy and Steve. Okay, so our predictions for Noy and Steve. We both said that they would say yes. We both said that they would say yes. Okay. And so I'm gonna wait and say what they said. I'll be let's give background. So the one thing with Steve and Noy is that she's had problems in relationships before. She hadn't felt comfortable. We know she moved to Boston because she was in a relationship, and then that person left her high and dry. So that had her in a place where she wasn't really ready to trust or dive in. But what she said was, I like that Steve makes me feel he's so comforting, in those moments when I'm having my issues, my moments, he's comforting to me, he makes me feel safe. And, she said, I just appreciate him for that. And so here go the waterworks with the experts and them again. Steve he didn't cry, but you could tell he was like really touched. He leaned in, gave her a hug. And they were like, where is this emotion coming from? Why you got so much emotion? She said, because of the way Steve was, it allowed me to open up more. He didn't judge me. I felt at ease. Like you said, I felt safe. And she was like, I hadn't felt that way in a long time. Even though we have some stuff we need to work out, we still need to work out. I felt comfortable with him. I was in a place of peace with him. So I thought that was really sweet that she could say that. The experts were like, oh, the only thing was, she said, we have a lot of similarities, but we also have things that we butt heads on. Like when it comes to tasks in the house, splitting chores. She says, oh, it's never going to be 50-50. And he was like, but if I'm doing all this, I should be able to ask for help. And because I'm not working doesn't mean my only responsibility is housework. That don't mean you don't do nothing. So that's a bone of contention for them. He was like, he says, I just need a balance. I need a balance. And she was like, well, yeah, I need a balance too. I'm afraid, he's afraid that he'll have to carry a significant load of the housework. And he has trouble trusting that she'll step in and do the same for him. And she was like, well, yeah. So same with me. I'm having a little trouble trusting that you're going to be able to come through with the finances and get a job or whatever. And Pastor Cal was like, why I connected with Steve is that he reminded me of myself, because me and my wife first got together. He said I was between jobs, and she didn't eliminate me as a choice for a mate because I didn't have a job, because, I was about my business. Steve is about his business. It's not like he don't have a job and he's being lazy. They talked about how he's a free spirit, and they showed pictures of him when he was on his trip, after he got let go of his job. And so that was the thing with them. And, sometimes he said, they asked Steve, does that bother him? He says, sometimes when she talks about it, it comes off like she's saying I'm not capable, but I am capable. And Pastor Cal was like, yeah, like, dude, Steve got it going on. He can do whatever he wants to, so basically don't give it to him like that. Don't reflect it like that.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Steve all season, right? But absolutely. I think when he said he's been capable, but she needs to see some of that capability, right? She needs to see some proof. You said it. You've been saying it all season long. She needs to see it. Yeah, you can make money. You have opportunity to make money. You may be living off your savings now. Now when it comes time for the rubber to meet the road, right? I need to see X, Y, Z. You need to make me feel comfortable to see X, Y, Z. And I understand what Pastor Cal was talking about. Of course, we all been in a place that we've been between jobs and have that situation. And you get to the point, I want to be my own boss. I want to be my own entrepreneur. I want to work. I want to sell my app. So I want to be able to function in this area. But you still have to make your spouse comfortable, right? You still have to make your spouse feel that security that's there. The housework situation is, if you don't have a job, do all your housework, right? If y'all not that messy, you don't have kids, you maybe have the dog, what's the name, dog, Sushi, right? Clean up. It doesn't take that much every day to maintain and manage the house. So there are other hours that you can be doing some things. If you maintain it, it's not a big job, right? If you maintain it, you don't have to do a big mass cleanup all the time. And so with Steve saying, And Noy's like, well, you ain't doing anything else. You should clean up. Well, at the same time, you didn't know you're working. He should help out. And Steve shouldn't expect her to get up, work 8 hours and clean the house. I'm not talking about, Steve's not on Elijah Wan level, right? He's talking about just little things. Maybe clean up after yourself, take your clothes and put in a hamper, or wash your own stuff. It's not major stuff. But at the same time, if Steve is going to be unemployed, she don't need to see him laying around playing video games, right? Or laying around snuggling up with sushi. There has to be some work done. So that's something they really have to compromise and work on to get the situation done and alleviated. The job situation potential, okay, bro, it's about that time. I'm with Noy right now. Okay, the experiment is over. You did the 8 weeks. We love each other. We married. Fine. Okay, now it's about that time for you to start bringing some income in, right? I'm not telling you to go to 9 to 5 job or work, but it's time for you to start bringing some income in. And that's where I think that's where we all season everybody talks about job. I'm not worried about a job. I'm not worried about work. What I am worried about is income, and what she's worried about is income. She kept saying work and job. It's not work and job. It's income, because if you can bring income in and will make her secure without having to do a 9 to 5, that's fine, right? That's what she really wants. What she should have been saying all season. I need to see your income, not need you to go to a 9 to 5.
The one thing that I want to bring out though is, if I'm a house husband, I'm a house husband. I'm not your butler. I'm not your maid. So, I think it's wrong. Yeah, she should clean up after herself and, participate in the housework, because he's not your maid. Like, that's not his job. And I think that he kind of get in that field too. Okay, because I don't go to a 9 to 5 like you. So then all of a sudden I'm Bentley, or I'm Mr. Belvedere. No, I'm not neither one of those. So it does kind of come off like, well, you're the housekeeper, and he's not the housekeeper. He's your husband who does some housework, but it's not just his job. You should be able to put your dishes in a dishwasher or wash them by hand, and you should be able to wash your clothes sometimes. So I'm with him on that. But in the end, Steve went first to make his decision. And he said, there's no one else that I'd rather do this life with or think about having kids with. So yes, I want to stay married. And Noy said, before this day, we talked about the issues, and, we don't have any resolution when it comes to those issues. We'll have to work it out. And we still have some trust issues there. But I know that you trust enough to take the next we have enough trust there that we can take the next step. And so she said, I want to stay married too. And so we were right about Noy and Steve. They both said yes. I'm glad they said yes. We have liked them the whole season. They didn't let us down like Val and Johnny, because we were excited about Val and Johnny to start. We thought they were a good match, and that just crumbled. But Noy and Steve did not let us down. They both said yes.
Which I think is great. I think Noy and Steve will make a good couple together. I think since they're moving in together, she said, yeah, we're going to move in together. We're going to move into Steve's apartment, and, we might have to take down the LED lights. I'm just joking. That was, if you remember from the very first. She
said he had to get rid of the couch. She was like, get rid of the couch. It don't really fit.
Yeah, because she said she wants to come in and get a woman touch to the house, which, okay.
Yeah.
I've been saying that as well. When you have a house or apartment and you get married, or you move somebody in, a woman's going to come in and put her own touch on that. She wants to make it feel like home. And there's some things us as men may not decorate as great as women do, or design things as great as women, or don't have the vision of that person. And so she's going to add her own touch to the home. And that's what she wants to do. I'm happy they decided to live together, and it made her realize we can't have babies if we're apart, right? She made me start thinking about it. Oh, dang, if I do have a baby, I am pregnant, and I'm away from this dude. What's going to happen? Who's going to take him? Can somebody else slide in? What's going on? So those are the things I think she contemplated in her mind, and she thought about and realized that, Steve is the best for me. Let's stay married. I am so glad she didn't listen to Sriracha and everybody else. And I think Steve and Noy, when we get to the reunion, they will still be married. I think Steve and Noy still will be married by the time we get to the reunion. Will they have some up and downs? Yes. The question is, will Steve be employed, or will Steve have the income by the time we get to the reunion? Only time we tell, we'll find that out next week. I'm sure Kevin's going to ask that question, because that's the biggest thing from the season, what kind of employment Steve has. Noe and Steve, we both say yes. I am happy for Noe and Steve. Let's see if Noe and Steve can keep this thing going. Or, I'll save that till the end, but go ahead.
The only thing I want to add with Noe and Steve, so all the couples get together and they, they're sharing their decisions, whatever. And so Steve and Noe says, we stayed married. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we knew y'all were gonna, y'all was solid, the solid couple. And so Steve was like, I started Married at First Sight with Noe when I gave her a ring pop. So I have another ring pop for her. It's a blue ring pop. And he puts the ring on her finger. She's like, oh my gosh, I get another ring pop. And then next thing you know, Steve is on his knee. And he's got the box with the ring that he made on the website with his friend. And Noe is a mess. She ugly cried so bad. Lindsay was like, oh, no, not the ugly cry, girl. She was like, is this for me? Oh, my God. And all that, you got to make income work at 9 to 5. I didn't hear none of that. That went right out the window because, honey, he got money to buy you this ring. And we talking about diamonds around the band. He gave her like an engagement ring. Diamonds around the band. A diamond in the middle. Remember, he had picked that out. She just could not get herself together. Everybody there was like, oh my God, girl, he gave you a ring. And she was like, she was a mess.
I would have felt, if I'm the other dudes right there, I need to step up my game. If I'm the other dude, if I'm the other dudes, I'm like, I am pissed. Like, God, dog, this dude right here outshined all of us. And if you look at it, if you go back to the scene, if you look at Michael turned around and whispered something to, you got to catch it real quick. And he turned around. And he was like, oh, dang. He's like, oh, crap, he got us. But again, whether he paid for it or not, because a lot of stuff, speculation is out there that he didn't pay for it, that the show paid for it. And I just believe that they partnered with the show, and he did actually pay for it. That right. Josh Allen, whatever the name of the company was, partnered with the show, and they were allowed to show that, or it's something that he works out. Because I couldn't see them just picking him to give her a ring without picking the rest of them, right? To get the ring for her, something different. So whatever way it was, Steve got picked. The ring is lovely. It's cost a lot. Again, it goes back to the storyline that he has income, right? That he has money. And so he gave the ring. So again, I think it was a great gesture. I think it means a lot to Noe. If it don't work out, should he get his ring back? I'm just asking. It is what it is. You can still go pawn that and get some money for it, whatever case may be not. But I think they will last. I think it's good for Steve. And it also shows her this: I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that we have what we need to have, and we're going to make sure that we grow and we be together. I'm always going to make sure you have and you support it. Don't worry about where it's going to come from. Just know that we're going to eat, and that our lights are not going to be off, and we're not. I have no problem with him not being a provider. He's a provider. He's just not a provider the way that she wants him to be a provider. But I think it was a great gesture, and I think it's good for them.
Yeah, and we're going to leave Steve and Noe alone, but I think Steve is one of the most ready to get married participants in Married at First Sight history. He's one of the most prepared to be married people. And married, because he's grounded, he's sensible, reasonable, he can talk through things, yeah. So kudos to Steve, one of my favorites. Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope I don't foresee him letting us down for the reunion. Not him.
Nah, I don't think so. I think he may not have that job, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right.